Hey everyone, my name is Justin and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Mona, and I'm here to welcome you to the wrap event for the Filecoin Forum. The Filecoin Forum was the largest and perhaps first Metaverse build bounty ever. It was designed to spur the creation and use of Metaverse spaces, and did it ever. We've had an incredible month of building. 450 builders signed up, 75 spaces were submitted, and there were 41 winners chosen by Filecoin. We have to give a huge thanks to Filecoin, Protocol Labs, and the entire ecosystem for supporting this event. Without their help, none of this would be possible. We want to give a shout out to each and every builder who submitted to this event. Without you, none of this is possible. Whether you won a prize or not, it's the community of Metaverse builders that is so important. Each winning space will be minted on OpenSea and open for bids. Filecoin will make the first bid at the winning amount, and artists can either accept the bid or allow other bids. For those who didn't win, we will be giving out a submission prize. This will be through Protocol Labs, and we will send out a form for this later this week. Congratulations to all who participated in the Filecoin Forum. I'm going to take a moment now to list out all of the winners for all the prize categories, starting in reverse order. We have Viewpoint of the Universe by Leonardo Garcia, The Library by B-Team, The Catacombs by Olga Force 3D, Temple of the Multi-Minds by Catherine the Worst, Stella Achenbach, and VP Cowboy, Supernova Labs by Adam Page, Space War by Amber Russell, Sanctuary of Mu by D. Diegin 1, Nimbus by Hard Architects, Nature Nights by Azim Premji, MetaZoo 3 Fluid Motion by MetaZoo Studio, Marsgate by Jorge Barta, Ivy Red Temple by Educa Durbitcoin, IRL Underground by Yultech, Ice Maze Archive by Thistle Press, Horror Stay by Dwij Patel, Deep Adaptation by Maria Kaminska, Zakis Sector Region 3.77 by Fractilian 7, Cathedral X by Kuai Yu, Broadless Broadcasting by MLibty, At the End of the Metaverse by Omar Sharif, and Entry Point by We Are One. Next up, we have the 12 space prizes. The winners of this category are The Spark in Our Mess by Daniel Arriaga, The Northern Valley by KP Marchioro, Rainbow Galaxy Cluster by The Black Fractal, Pixel Cavern by Kujjuk, Honorico by Architecture, Modernism by Jaime Ortega, Lunar Villa by Alex KTGS, JFW Space Station by Jose Ferrer, Fantasy Forest Ruins by Bloom, Cyberpunk Zone by Rizkij, Cloud Agora by Arconomus, Ancient Medley by Dat Ogar. Next up, we have the top prizes, and those winners are Vector Horizon by Augie Worlds, Platform 78 by Patrick D3, Pavilion 2039 by Bart Massé, Neon City by Neon Glitch 86, and Owen Gallery by Owen. And finally, we have the 3 top track prizes. These winners are the Filecoin Forum Gardens by James Lee for the Natural World category, Gallery Hex Revenant OC by the Matt Empire for the Science Fiction category, and The Sanctorium by Matt Does Design for Classical Architecture. A huge congratulations to all of the prize winners and to everyone who participated in the Filecoin Forum Build-a-thon. It's been such an exciting month, and you all have accomplished so much. We're so ecstatic for everyone. Next up, we're going to dive into some interviews with our top track winners, Matt Does Design, the Matt Empire, and James Lee. Yeah, thanks so much for jumping on with us. We're so stoked. At the end of the Filecoin Forum, Filecoin has selected your space as one of the top 3. So huge congratulations.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, it's crazy. It really is crazy. I can't quite believe it. Still, it's a few days after the announcement. It just feels like, wow. Yeah, really wow.
Let's bring it back to the beginning. How did you get to where you are now? Give us a little bit about your background and your career, and what got you to this point.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll try and keep it relatively brief, relatively brief, because it feels like there's a lot of stuff there. I got into the games industry about, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years ago. I started off modding, and I've been fortunate to work at a really bunch of very good places in my career. So yeah, I worked at Crytek UK, I worked at Ubisoft Reflections, I've been at Codemasters, and the reason why I'm here in Poland is because I was working at CD Projekt Red. And yeah, I've spent my whole career in games, and this last 6 months, I think, has been like my first time in my whole career where I've not been working, right? So I took some time off after working at CD Projekt Red, and yeah, it kind of is really like a great pleasure to have the time free to be able to kind of get involved in project like this with Filecoin Forum and Mona. It's like there's no way I would have had the time to really invest in this without having this free time that I've had. So it's been great, actually. It's been great. So that's kind of like the, in a nutshell, where I've come from, and yeah, how I ended up doing stuff with Mona. Actually, I dropped into the Discord with the community and saw that like there's kind of really nice vibrancy about what was going on with the people on Discord, and I managed to catch like 20 or 30 minutes of the Matt Empire doing a stream of his like build quite early on, I guess. And it was just like, okay, cool, like maybe I can get involved in this, and I'm really glad that I did. I guess I had, yeah, real tons of fun while I was making my space.
Diving into the space, you've created such an amazing mood, everything down to your choice in lighting and the set that you've built. I would love to hear more about your inspiration for the space that you built and kind of your process behind it.
Yeah, so I actually started off thinking about a sci-fi build, and I was thinking at the time when I first started getting into the project of like, I really wanted a lot of kind of dynamism and interaction and reactivity, I guess. So I was thinking about all these like layers of interaction and how the player would move around and like particles respond to the player's movement and all of this kind of stuff. And I wanted to make something like this kind of solar system, which you see in the finished space, but with like this kind of Mario Galaxy thing where you could like have different people in the space hopping around on different planets. Maybe that will come, like eventually, maybe we'll get there to work on something like that. So I started from that point. So the solar system thing was there from the beginning, really just this idea of these planets rotating around. I thought that would be cool. But after I was sort of spending a bit of time on the Discord and like trying to gather my ideas, I thought maybe I can do something with the classical architecture, because I noticed that a lot of people were really vibing off of the sci-fi thing, and I kind of just thought, well, okay, let's try the classical, because it's something different, and I haven't seen people really working in the classical thing before. And yeah, I just started looking at a bunch of reference and finding different images from like ancient Greek temples and Roman temples and stuff, and looking through um, concept arts that people have made for projects which had similar kind of vibes. And I, yeah, just kind of managed to get sort of picture in my head of a space which was, yeah, this kind of scale, I guess, is the thing that I really wanted to get across. So there's this picture of this space with these huge columns and these huge statues, and really trying to make the player or the user or the observer or the audience, whoever's in there, really feel like this kind of in awe of the environment. Um, so so yeah, I started with that point of like, okay, the player's going to feel kind of small here. How do I do that? And then just start making these huge forms and shapes of this temple.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and you could totally feel all of that. It's amazing. Being in the space, it definitely feels like futuristic classical
Mm.
vibe. And so, are you new to the Web3 space? Have you done
Mm.
NFTs before, or yeah, I would love to know.
No, not at all. I haven't. I've been aware of NFTs and kind of watching from afar and seeing like what is going on. What is all this stuff? And yeah, had kind of vague interest, but not really like active interest. So this is, yeah, my first kind of experience of Web3 and NFTs and all of that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. So exciting that you're also like totally brand new to Web3. This will be your first NFT then as well.
Yep.
So that's really exciting, Matt. I guess maybe one more question. Do you have any advice for anyone who's getting started building or who's thinking about building like a metaverse space? Any advice from your years of experience building, building games or even just your experience building this space?
Uh, I would say just jump in and try and see what you can make. Really, like the community that has formed around this project so far is incredibly supportive, and um, really is a nice place to try and share your work and get opinion and feedback and help and all the stuff that makes it a bit easier to enjoy the work. And yeah, it's I think just get in there. The tools are free. Everything's there for you to do it if you really want to do it. And even if you just pick up the tools and make something and just see, running around in your environment on on the web page, it's like, wow, that's cool, right? This even just that simple act of just doing that. So you can do a lot with not a lot these days. And yeah, I would say just jump in and just try and see what happens. And if you enjoy it, just keep going. Yeah.
Love it. Matt, thank you so much for your time. Once again, huge congratulations on winning the Filecoin Forum Build Bounty. Your space is incredible, and it's been such a pleasure. And I feel grateful just being able to see your process from start to finish and now being able to run around in your space. It's really cool. So thank you so much for your time and for giving us a little more info on your background. So glad you're building with us.
Thanks. No, really, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right. So, James Lee, thank you for joining me here. So stoked. You are the top winner of the Filecoin Forum Build Bounty with Mona. How's it going, James?
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like I just can't believe it. I just yeah, it still hasn't hit home yet. Um, and the support from the community and Mona and Filecoin is just it's amazing. Really
That,
is something.
that's amazing. Yeah. So stoked for you, James. I would love to learn a little bit more about you. So tell us about your background and kind of how you got to where you are today.
Okay, so I do like photography for like music artists and that. And I work with a UK hip hop artist. I help manage his digital side. And so I designed his latest album cover and stuff like that. But obviously in lockdown, music industry took a massive hit. Um, so I kind of like ended up just learning 3D. So I went into Blender and my first tutorial was the sword, and I really enjoyed it. And then picked that up, and from there, I did like a few other little designs after I had the tutorials. Um, and I entered a competition over Twitter. Didn't win, but it was just a start. Just something to do. Um, and then I seen the advertisement for this build on Build Bounty on Instagram, and I thought, oh, I'm just gonna go for it. Like I haven't even ever used Unity, but I think if I've managed to teach my self 3D on Blender, I think I can manage this hopefully. And I just went for it. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
That's incredible. So you're even entirely new to Unity at the beginning of the month when you found out about this and when you dove in. That's amazing.
Yeah. So it was literally like I just had a couple of days to try and get my head around the UI, and I mean, coming from Blender, there was some familiar things that I've seen, um, but I mean, I used a few tutorials just to how to do terrain, landscaping, um, and yeah. So and then I kind of just went with it, and then I think because the passion was there, everything just became so easy. So I just spent hours and hours on it.
Amazing. And you've created a truly incredible space. Really, really love the natural environment that you made, and it's sort of incorporating these meditation pods. You've really knocked it out of the park. I really, really love what you've done. Perhaps you can speak a little bit more about your inspiration for your space and just where the idea came from and your entire process and journey for how you built it.
Yeah, well, I do suffer a lot from mental health and depression myself. So I wanted to kind of like make some change somehow within the metaverse to reflect our world. And I know people are so obsessed lately with technology that you can tell them not to use it, but they're still going to use it. So there was kind of like a trick behind it almost as well. It was like, all right, how can we get the like to be more healthy with not with technology, but without it, if that makes sense. So I kind of like thought, well, let's build these meditation pods, and then when they go in there and they've got their headphones on and they start meditating, if they're away from it, then they're just meditating and getting that little break that they need and resting their eyes, and then once they've finished their meditation they can go back into the metaverse and feel a bit more healthier hopefully. And in regards to climate change, it's always been something that I've had a passion about. I'm vegetarian. I hate us damaging the seas and everything. So I kind of wanted to have that in there as well. But what I found out was in my research, I went into Filecoin's website, um, and I found out like through like Filecoin and YouTube. So there's Filecoin Orbit, and they had some talks on there about decarbonization of the chain. I checked their Twitter, news articles on Filecoin, and I think I understood, that I was building for Filecoin essentially, and anything else that I wanted to add my touch in was kind of going to kind of come last. And I think you need to understand your customer when you're designing. Like it's like if you're designing a flyer for a business or taking a photo for a publication, like you have to have kind of like what they represent, but still have your own touch that makes your work stand out. So yeah.
And James, are you new to Web3 as well, or have you made NFTs before? Is this your first NFT?
Okay, so I did make a few NFTs in the past, but I think I was naive. I thought, I was one of those people that was just like, oh, the NFT craze is good, it's a craze. People are making lots of money. Let me just make something, not really put much thought into it, and just put it out there. And I kind of like, yeah, it kind of just, there was I just flopped basically. Because like now I'm going into spaces and I'm really like connecting with people and making a connection with those in the community. It's just, yeah, it's really, it is all about the community and being part of something much bigger than just an NFT and monetary gains. And you've got so much support there. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's something that's just so amazing to see and to be a part of. It really is about the community, and I think that's sort of what Web3 and decentralization is all about as well. And so it's so great to see all that amazing support.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, there's people from across, from in America that is supporting me, people in Iran, Pakistan. Like, it's like it's broken borders, which I really love about it, because I've always thought I want to live in a world where there's no passports, because at the end of the day, I don't like the thought of, just being, I'm just an Englishman. Like, I think I'm a world citizen. And yeah, I just think borders kind of like stop people from communicating with each other and stuff like that. So like I'm really really like not very good at Spanish, but I'm joining like Latin groups, and there's people there that will translate for me and everything. So it's really nice connecting worldwide with people, I think.
Totally agree. I love that. That's what I love about like the community that's even forming around these spaces in Mona. It's worldwide, and it's not just about individual countries and geographical locations, but it really is sort of about the world. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's incredible. James would also love to know. So, for anyone who's new to creating a metaverse space or who to building in 3D, what sort of advice would you like to offer someone who's totally new coming in wanting to build a space?
Okay, so the first one I would definitely recommend is go onto YouTube and go to the sword tutorial for Blender. Like, that is one of the best, because like about 3 years ago I did try, but there was it was a donut tutorial, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't follow along with it properly. But the sword tutorial, like the guy who um does the tutorial, he's so well clear spoken, and like guides you through each step, and he'll tell you what he's clicking and why he's clicking it, and it really does help. I mean, I feel advanced, but I'm not advanced, if you know what I mean, in some respect. But I think it just allows the painter to paint, and just get his ideas out onto the into the 3D canvas, as it were. So yeah, definitely check that tutorial out. Um, and I think you just got to have a passion, and try and find the cause of why you're doing it, and who you're doing it for, and just have fun with it, really.
I love it. I love it. That's amazing. Well, James, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to just chat a little bit more about your work. And is there anything else that you'd like to say, or are you building any spaces now? Do you have any teasers for what your next space is going to look like?
Okay, yeah. So I think there might be a collaboration in the works with a DeFi. There's been talks about an all-female DeFi coin. Because, oh yes, let me start again. So basically, I'm building a new gallery, and it's going to be focused on helping women get their voice out there a lot more. Well, for the first event, and hopefully be hosting a lot of women NFTs in the gallery. It's a gallery that is based. So it's a surrealist gallery, and it's based on the new Dune movie. So it's going to be really cool. It's like a massive spaceship, the gallery, and then it's got like a viewport on top where you can just look out onto your land. And then after that event, the gallery will be auctioned off for collectors to own. And I think it's important to get across that when you buy these galleries, they are effectively they are NFTs in themselves. And with the Mona Gallery, I think it's very good for people that cannot afford land at the moment, in places like Decentraland and Sandbox, because all you've got to do is mint the piece, and either pay gas on ETH or Polygon, which is next to nothing. And I think it's a really good entry point for a lot of people, builders or collectors. So yeah, and I think that what you've got to remember as well, these pieces are a great utility, because you will either be able to hold it as your own gallery, and bring friends in when multiplayer comes, and hold your own events and parties within the metaverse. um, and also you can also own it and hold it as a business, so you could also charge fees to people for hosting their work, or charge a seller's fee, and make a profit from these galleries that you're going to hopefully be purchasing in the future. Sorry, I went on a bit of a ramble there, but
No, that was amazing. No, that's a great plug too. Appreciate that, James.
oh no,
But it's no, it's great. So, well, that's amazing. I think that's that'll do it for this. So, James, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to chat about your work. Really enjoyed it, and looking forward to see what you're making next. Can't wait to see that female DeFi gallery. That's going to be epic. So, can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Justin, and thank you for the team at Mona and Filecoin.
We are here with Matt, aka Matt the Empire, an amazing metaverse creator, game designer. He is one of the top spaces that Filecoin has selected for the Filecoin Forum. Thanks so much for being here, Matt.
Happy to be here.
Super stoked to sit down with you and learn more about your journey as an artist and hear more about your inspiration for the space that you built. It's incredible. So Matt, I guess to kick things off, tell us a little about yourself.
I've been a designer for forever. Basically, 20 years ago, I was working in toy concept design, graphic design, web design, what else was there? Multimedia, 3D, animation, architecture, pre-visualization. So this is actually coming back full circle, I guess. And then game design before moving to Japan, where I am now an English instructor for a lot less hours and surviving comfortably, so I can work on my own projects and whatever I feel like learning and tinkering with at the time. So bit of an all-rounder, I guess you could say, in just whatever I feel like doing, I'll learn and do and make. So yeah.
And what brought you to Mona? How did you find out about Mona and the Filecoin Forum, and how'd you get involved?
Yeah, for sure. So the one time that the Google algorithm has ever done anything good for me was one post on my Google thread that I check out every now and then, which was either like quantum physics, what is it? How the brain works and neurons and like computer stuff. This Filecoin Forum bounty came up. And I just, for some reason, something, I forget what it was, but something connected with me. And it's like, okay, I'll check that out. And then I saw what you could do, how you could put that in a web browser, and it just worked. And it's like, well, I know Unity. I want browsers, and the metaverse sounds kind of cool. Because I was like, I'll give it a shot. And that's the rest is history. I jumped on the Discord. It was a small community. And then here we are. So it's been a very whirlwind month and a half, I guess you could say.
That's amazing. Would love to learn more about your space now. You've created an incredible immersive sci-fi environment. It's really mind-blowing. So would love to hear just more about your inspiration and your process and what that journey's been like for you.
Mm-hmm. Hexes. That's basically it. I literally put a hex down. I in Blender, I think it was, and it's just like, all right, what's next? Another hex, more hexes. Like, these fit well together. What can I do with that? I think that was the first couple of days where I was just mapping stuff out and got some simple ideas and started just getting a feel for it. So it sort of like went out from the center. So the amphitheater in the middle was the main thing, and then it just went dunk, dunk, dunk. I think a few days later, I went camping with a friend, so I had an hour and a half to kill on the train. So that's when I actually started planning. So I think it was like 3 or 4 days in where I'm just like, maybe I should actually do some layouts and figure this out. So I have this one picture on my notepad, which is basically the floor plan that ended up being done. So the only difference was the 2 galleries that are there now were originally going to be sort of holodecks. So I was going to do this really interesting nature space and this really interesting classical space. So it nods to the other things in this environment. But yeah, 3 weeks at the time, not enough to fill that place out. So I just sort of said, okay, what else could I put? Made some galleries, and there you go.
Would love to know now too. So you're new to Web3 and NFTs, right? Have you made any
Yes.
NFTs before, or?
Nope. I was kind of originally I was waiting for the the weird hot trend let's make money thing to die down a little bit. And NFTs become a serious thing. It's like, okay, this actually creates value for artists to the level that they should be. And I think you guys sort of approach it that way, like you're looking at it from a healthy perspective. And like this is a technical move forward in the digital space with everything going digital, for example. So I was like, the way you're going at it seems really solid and like, what would you call it? I don't know, just better, more logical, more approachable, and just less weird. There's a lot of that in the space. And also, but that's all I knew. I liked the idea of NFTs, but the starting and teething problems of it seemed a little bit out of my league. But like even yesterday, I spent like a few hours just writing down, okay, what is an NFT marketplace? What is cryptocurrency? What is a token? What is, and just going through that whole process is like, okay, once it's all on one page, it's actually not that bad. But a lot of it is very split across many websites. So the longer this space exists, the easier things will get to understand. And I'm sure the process will be refined a bit. But yeah, it's definitely been a sharp learning curve in regards to how to get from real money to an NFT space sort of thing.
Well, we're so excited that your space in Mona will be your very first NFT. This is incredibly exciting. So, you know, it's an honor, truly. So, really, really exciting. Again, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
No worries. Thanks again.
What an incredible event! Again, a special thank you to Filecoin for their support and for sponsoring this amazing build bounty. We have some really incredible spaces that are live on Mona, entire worlds for anyone to explore and share with others, and they're now available for bidding. So head on over to our OpenSea page to place a bid on your favorite space. Now that the bidding is underway and all the hard work is done for this forum, it's time for some builders to recharge for something even bigger ahead.
Hey builders! Wow, we were totally blown away by all the awesome spaces that you have built for the Filecoin Forum. We are absolutely thrilled. Thank you. It's so awesome to explore all the amazing rooms you built. I want to congratulate you all for an amazing achievement in the largest metaverse build ever. And I'm personally very moved by hearing your stories. It's so exciting to hear how many of you tried new things, found a new passion, and just went for like a totally new and amazing thing. Again, thank you so much for creating some amazing spaces. You inspire all of us with your creativity. And this went so well that I guess we'll just have to do it again. Again, thank you so much for just an amazing experience building the Filecoin Forum. We're so excited for what's to come next. So thank you and see you on the internet.
We're making some really big announcements coming up for our next competition. More on that to come. Thanks so much for being with us here, and thank you for building with us.